So I heard you want to build a car. I am Sabra Johnson. I want to talk to you today about who's going to do what. What part of this is this one going to do and what part of this is that one going to do? What I find, maybe you're an enthusiast out there, maybe you're a series collector out there, and what happens is we want to be our own builder. See, there ain't nothing wrong with that. You want to be your own builder. You want to subcontract everything out. You're going to stand as the general contractor. You're going to save you some money. You're going to increase costs. So you're going to find this person because he's good at this. You're going to find that person because she's good at that. You're going to find that person because that family excels in that area. And you're going to be the one that stands in the middle, and you're going to contract here and contract there and contract there. You're going to save yourself about 20% on that dollar, maybe 15 cents on that dollar. And when you start talking about a big old bill, that could be $20,000. That's mama's swimming pool in the back. See, that's that kitchen remodelization. That's that trip maybe to Paris. So I get it, and I think the sensibility of it makes sense. The problem is the actual application, the actual function of it, and I'll give you a case study today, it oftentimes does not work. So here's what I want you to understand. So you find someone to build it. Whatever it is you want somebody to build it. Then once it's built, you know someone has to install it, right? And then once it's installed, well, you want this and you want that. You wanna enhance it. You wanna modify it. Well, now someone has to modify it. Those are three different people touching the same product, touching the same thing, and that's where you get the problem. So if you want to be the general contractor and you want to handle this build of your dream car, what I want you to do is find somebody who can build it, who can install it, and who can modify it. Whatever that system might be, that piece of it. So let's just say it's a chassis, or in our case today, an engine. You want the person, I advise you to find someone who can build that engine, make sure that person can install that engine, and then I advise you to make sure that person can modify that engine. So I got 1967 bad to the bone Camaro. I mean, it sounds good, man. Small block, making a lot of power. It has a cam in it. It's not a mild cam. It's not a moderate cam. It's radical, baby. It's radical. It's extreme. You know what I mean? It's talking, right? Sounds good. Who don't want that, right? Now, if you're not careful and your ear is not trained, you're going to get all caught up, hi-fi, low-fi. You're going to be dancing around the car. But to us, we hear it has miss in it. We hear it has some issues in that engine. So one of the things we had to do, we're charged with some modification. So we're putting a new wiring harness in this car. They ain't got nothing to do with the engine. We're going to reseal the intake, stuff like that. And we go down our list of things to do that's not related to the internals of this internal combustible engine. So we put our vintage air on here and get everything going. So we found two issues, two challenges. The first thing we find is that once we put this vintage air in, that's going to put a load on the engine, right? And so we charge the engine, we charge the AC up and all this. So when you turn the AC on, the car wants to cut off. So you take the idle up a little bit. Car wants to turn off. Take the idle up a little bit. The car wants to turn off. Yeah, take it up a little bit more. So technician has to take it all the way up to about 1,300 RPM. That's way too high. It won't be about 700 RPM, something like that. You know, rated for him, he like to be about 500 with a car about to give out a gas. Car just be talking. He like the low RPM. But we got to get it way up there just so that when we turn the AC on, the car is shooting down 600 horsepower. Well, what's going on? See, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Is it the installer? Is it the builder? We're talking about the original engine builder. Or is it the modifier? What's going on? That's what happens when you start dancing around different places. You get a problem and you have to figure out who the problem, because the motherfucker gone. So now it's just me and you now. So what are we going to do here? The second problem we feel is we feel a vibration. Now I can't even take the car out on a test drive. Why? I mean, that's too much vibration. Vibration can cause internal damage in this engine. So one thing we do, hey, let's shoot a temperature down there. Let's see what we got going on. So we shoot, even on one side, odd on the other side. We shoot, it's like 420, 460, somewhere in there. Boom, 420, 460, boom, 420, 460, boom, 230. Number 8 is a problem. So we know we got an issue there. Number 8 is a problem. Should be making more heat than that. It's not making the heat it should be making, so we know something going on. Dead, baby, dead. You ain't cooking the way we want you to cook. Well, what's going on? Probably something with the rocker. Probably something going on with the rocker. Now, what's the issue with that? This is somebody else's engine. This is an engine someone else installed. And when you're modifying a car, and if you're a builder out there listening to it, don't go inside nobody else's engine. Don't go in nobody's refrigerator when you go over their house, unless they tell you go in there and get what you want. If I invite you to come to my house, do not walk and go in my refrigerator. I get it for you. Now, if we cool, you going to stay here 2 or 3 days. Man, go get what you need, baby. Get it out of the refrigerator. So it's one of those kind of things. You don't go into the engine, but we have an issue there. The second problem we have is with this vibration. Now, what's our concern there? Is it internal balance or is it external balance? Is this the right harmonic balance? Is this the right flywheel plate? What? See, it's all about who built this thing. Man, I don't know their recipe. I don't know how they put it together. So these are the problems you come into. And normally we find by the time the car gets to us, and especially if it's a situation where we're modifying something or we're repairing something or we're having to tune something, all that money you thought you saved on the front end, now we might have to go in there and do a little bit of surgery and solve that problem. Now, what's the moral of this story if you want to build a car? I advise you to find you a builder who can also install that thing, who can also modify that thing. And if you just don't know who to call, you got my number.